Shalom, shalom. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Shema Shai. Shabbat shalom. Right. Want to get this quick lesson in through the spirit, right? Stop procrastinating, right? Stop procrastinating, right? So we gotta understand that in this truth, a lot of times you can end up procrastinating, right? You putting off praying, right? Or you might be putting off fasting, or you might be putting off reading, right? Or you might be putting off anything, right? Putting off giving alms, right? Let's stop procrastinating this truth, right? We're truly living in the last days, right? Right. So like at camp, last night we seen a lot of people that was walking to and fro, and they realized, right, that they was Israelites. I was like, hey, y'all Israelites, right? Couple sisters, they came by, right, said, oh yeah, I know about that. I know about the commandments. I know about these things like that. But a lot of our people, what they're doing, they know what's going on, right? But they not actually putting in the work. They procrastinate. They're taking their time and returning to the Lord, right? And then for those people that is in the truth, right? They still find yourself on procrastinating when you're in the truth, right? When you don't realize you got your fringes, you start keeping the Sabbath day whole like that, but then you still have those points in time where you be procrastinating, right? For instance, a big thing that sometimes brothers and sisters might procrastinate on is pulling a fast, right? Or reading, right? Or praying, right? Different things like that, right? We can't be procrastinating in this truth, right? We can't be lazy and procrastinate. We got to get in and put in this work, right? So I'm gonna start out with this, the book of Psalms, right? The class we bring this out on the highways and byways, right? And also, not only that, man, we was at camp. Dang, a brother almost got shot out there, man. Right? So you never know when your last day gonna be on this earth. But you never know when your last day gonna be, bro. Right? So you gotta make haste and turn to the Lord. Right? So let me share my screen real fast. So let me get my screen. So all right, let's get into this. Right. So again, you never know when your last breath gonna be, bro. You never know when your last day to serve the Lord, right? So you gotta go ahead and jump to it, man. Immediately, ASAP, right? Whatever you need to do, right? Whatever you working on, right? Whatever demon that you've been battling, hey man, jump to it and take it down, man. Whatever's going on, man, right? This class or this exhortation to exhort brothers and sisters to stop procrastinating, right? It's the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 60, right? It says, I thought on my ways and turned my feet into thy testimonies, right? So a lot of times you got to sit and think, right? And that goes into self-examination, right? You sitting and you thinking like, dang, bro, I know I need to do this, right? I know I've been lacking on this, right? And get to it, right? As soon as possible, right? It says, like I said, I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandments, right? So we tell brothers and sisters, don't delay in keeping the Lord's commandments, right? But you don't also want to delay in that fast, right? You also don't want to delay in that prayer, right? And that a lot of time that leads to you backsliding because you procrastinate so much, right? You got this one demon that you could have been overcame that demon. You could have been defeated, but you've been procrastinating, right? It's something that you've been wanting the Lord to do for you, right? But you haven't Lord still haven't done it. Why? Because you've been procrastinating on your prayer life, right? Or you've been trying to get somewhere spiritually, right? You're trying to get a spiritual increase and you're still not there. Why? Because you procrastinating on reading, right? Procrastinating on studying, right? We can't be procrastinating because when you procrastinate, right, you don't bring forth any results, right? Let's go to and then I want to get this. Actually, let me get this too. Procrastination. Get that and get the definition of that. It says procrastination, delaying something that must be done, right? And there's a lot of things that must be done. You've been slacking on your fast. You know that spirit your spirit been getting weakened, right? The flesh is getting your spirit is getting weakened and your flesh is getting stronger, and you need to fast, right? That's something that must be done, right? You know you haven't really been meditating and reading like that. That's something that must be done. We gotta read in this thing, right? We gotta read. That's how we get to understand. That's how we know what's going on. The scriptures tell you, right? Blessed is he that readeth, right? Praying, right? That's how we communicate with the Lord, right? That must be done. So you don't want to delay something that must be done. It's a lot of spiritual things that must be done in order for us to increase or succeed in this truth, right? In order for you to succeed in this truth, is things that must be done, right? Let's go to and then that drives me to go to this precept here, right? In the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 2. It says this right here. It says, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. So there are things that's within you that's on its way out, meaning it's weakened, right? And we all have our different levels where we're weak at, right? You might have a brother, he's weak in his weak in faith, or he's a brother, he might be weak in whatever, right? Whatever it may be, we all have different things that we can that are ready to die, but we gotta strengthen them. Imagine you got a part of you, right, or a portion of you that's ready to die, and you delaying to strengthen it, right? It's gonna cause more damage. It's gonna cause more damage. It's kind of like, think about it like in this aspect. When somebody gets poisoned, right? The longer they take to get help, to get that medicine, to strengthen them, right? Or to reverse the process of the poison, right? It causes more damage, right? And the more you delay to getting that healing, we're gonna think about it in a spiritual aspect. The more you delay getting that healing, what happens? Then you start to get damage that's beyond repair. You don't want to delay so much to now you at a point where the damage is beyond repair, right? And when the damage is beyond repair, that's that reprobate mindset. It's where you're finished, right? Because you took too long, right? Procrastinating, kept putting it off. Because I'll do it next week. I'll fast next week. I'll do that lesson next week. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it next week. And you kid, and they go from next week. Then it's a month, right? Then you look at yourself, right? You had a moment to where the damage you causing more damage to where it's unrepairable, right? You don't want to do that to yourself through the spirit, right? You gotta tend to your spiritual body, just like your physical body, right? When you get I guess a bite or a snake bite, something like that happened to you, right? What you do, you rush, you go to the nearest hospital, you seek treatment, right? But when you get weak in the spirit, we gotta immediately seek treatment. What's the best? Well, and our treatments in this truth, it could be counsel, right? Have a brother pray for you, have a brother fast with you, fasting, you praying, right? These is the treatment for your spirit, man, right? Alms, right? These are different things to treat you through the spirit, right? So we got to strengthen those things. Now, you don't want to put a delay process on this, right? It's something that must be done, right? For I have not found out where first. So let's go back, right, to this definition that we was at, right? So it says, delaying something that must be done, right? Procrastination is the act of delaying something that must be done often because it is unpleasant or boring, right? Now, one will say, well, I wouldn't say that. But imagine, put it like this. If you really desired to do it, would you procrastinate? If you really was excited to do it, would you procrastinate? Think about that. You treat things a little different when you really desire it, right? When you really desire something, you really want it, you don't put that off, right? Think about it. For instance, right? Let's say your brother wanted a pair of shoes or something, right? Right? Or your brother wanted a garments, whatever. And he really desire and want that thing, right? but not gonna put that off. He gonna do what he gotta do, right? Or a job. You really want that job. You gonna put in that work to do what you gotta do to get that job because you desire that. But we gotta put that same energy when it comes to things in the spirit, right? You gotta really want to desire. And it's easy said and done, you know what I'm saying? Because it'd be like that. But you gotta over, and it's just demons. Really, that's what it is. It's demons that put you in that, right? That put you in that mindset to not desire those things, right? Just demons, right? But you gotta rebuke them, right? You gotta rebuke those demons, cast them off you, right? Because you should want to desire to fast, desire to read, desire to pray, right? Because when you have that strong desire, so it leaves less room for procrastination, right? It says it is a self-defeating behavior pattern. See that? It says procrastination is self-defeating. When you think about it now, and it's true, our worst enemy is our own self. It's our own self, right? This is why you have scriptures like this, right? What Paul say. Let me get this. This what Paul said in 1 Corinthians 15:31. I protest by your rejoicing, which I have in Hamashiach Yahushua our Lord, I die daily. So what he's saying is, I'm killing this flesh, this old man daily. I got to, because if I don't die daily, and when you're dying daily, what's happening? The Lord is increasing within you, right? Because that's the spirit we want. We want the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua to dwell in us and to increase in us. But what does that take for that to happen? It takes for that old man to die, right? That old man got to die off, right? Let's get another precept, right? We in competition with ourselves, right? That old man. That's what we trying to defeat. But when you procrastinate, it's self-defeating. You taking your own self out, and you ain't doing nothing but helping the old man win. Right? Let's get man, it's a couple precepts I'm gonna get though, but I'm gonna get this one though. I'm gonna get this in I'm gonna get Ephesians 4:22, and then I'm gonna get Colossians 3:9, right? So I'm gonna get that. And this is classic precept, but it says this. It says that ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man, right? So we gotta put off that old man, right? We gotta defeat the old man. But when you procrastinate, you defeating yourself. You taking yourself out the game. You making it easier for the demons to overcome you, right? Let's say you might be better than lust, right? Pride, envy, covetousness, whatever you're dealing with. We all got our different demons, right? Well, you making it easier for the demons when you procrastinate. When you put off the spiritual thing, that spiritual food, that spiritual healing, what happens, right? Self-defeating. You taking out your own spirit because you're procrastinating, because you're delaying, because you keep putting it off, right? So we can't keep putting off, because the old man, he gonna. We already know that old man is you. You gonna do you, but you gotta defeat that old man, dying daily, working at it daily, desiring to defeat that old man daily. You gotta desire that. You gotta have that desire to take that old man out, right? And we know the priest says, and being renewed with the spirit of your mind, right? So you gotta make it a habit or a goal to be renewed, right? Every day that you wake up, you have a chance to be renewed through the spirit. But you gotta ask yourself, am I gonna take that opportunity? I got another chance. Why are you gonna take it? Just because you woke up don't mean you're gonna be renewed to the spirit. You could wake up and still do the things of the flesh, right? Entertain that old man, entertain that follow old spirits. Or you can take that opportunity, right? Making haste, not tarrying, right? And renew yourself through the spirit, right? And that's taking out that old man. Right? Let's go to Colossians 3:9. Right? It says this. Let's start at verse 6, right? For which things this whole thing go crazy though. But I'm gonna start it right here. I'm gonna start right there. It says, for which things sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of disobedience. Right? So the children of disobedience are going to receive wrath, right? Straight like that, right? And how do we show ourselves being obedient? By following the commandments and having faith, repenting, right? For our sins, for our transgressions, right? That's being obedient, right? In the which ye also walked sometime when ye lived in them, right? Because at some time that's that old man, that old flesh, right? That flesh. You walk, you was, you was wicked, right? You went off, right? But now ye also put off these anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth, right? And not just these things, right? Not just the anger, the wrath and malice. And then when you do those things, like when you put off the anger, when you put off the wrath, when you put off the malice, the blasphemy, the filthy communication, right? When you put these off, what things or traits should you put on, right? Because and again, I was gonna say to a point, you just don't want to just do those things. It's many more things you want to do, right? Loving your brother, right, as you should. Make sure you love your wife as you should, your husband as should, the congregation, and giving charity, giving alms, and various other things, right? But these are a few things that you want to put off, and it's more you want because you want to make sure when it's said and done that you did your very best to put away all the attributes and things of the old man, things of the flesh, things of this world, right? But keep going, says, but so being that you put these things off, right? What new attributes do you want to put on? The fruits of the spirit, right? Take on when you put off that anger, that wrath, that malice, right? That blasphemy, the filthy communication, right? Put on the fruits of the spirit. Love, joy, peace, long suffering, right? So it says in the other ones. Well, we just go to the precept. Go to it. Galatians 5:22, right? But Galatians chapter 5, verse 22 says, but the fruit of the spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness. It's like gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law, right? So we want to and then let's keep reading. It says, and they that are Hamashiachs have crucified the flesh with the affections and lust, right? So when we're talking about, we'll tell you in Colossians, right, to put off these different things, right? It's been, and that again coupled with putting off the old man, right, being renewed to the spirit, right, renewed in the spirit, dying daily, speaking in these things like that, right? That's all the process of crucifying the flesh, right? Because the flesh loves the old man. The flesh loves malice, anger, wrath, right? But we can't be moving that. We got to take on the attributes of the fruits of the spirit, right? It says, if we live in the spirit, right, let us also walk in the spirit, right? So when you live in the spirit, right, when you live in the spirit, right, you're not giving the flesh room to overtake you. You're not giving the old man room to overtake you. But what does it take? It takes you to make haste in doing these things, right? It takes you to make haste. Because when that flesh strengthens or gets overwhelming, it's because at some point in time, you have been procrastinating or self-defeating yourself because you've been putting off things that must be done. Thus, giving the old man or the flesh room to overtake you, room for spirits to overwhelm you, to where you start, freaking off. Because that's how sin starts off, right? It starts in your mind. But when you weak in the spirit, you're more susceptible to be overtaken by demons, right? So to strengthen, that's why I tell you to strengthen those things will remain. But when you're delaying or procrastinating, you ain't doing nothing but you setting yourself up for failure, basically. You set yourself up for failure, right? So you want to succeed in this thing, you can't be procrastinating, right? Let's go back to it, right? It says, it is a self-defeating behavior pattern that can be seen as serving a psychological purpose, especially for people with perfectionist tendencies by protecting it. All right, that's good on that. That's good. That's all I want to say on that. Let me get this right quick. It says, procrastination is the act of delaying or putting off tasks until the last minute or past their deadline. Right? You don't want to put off things past the deadline. Right? What is the deadline for us? It's 2 deadlines. Well, it's really 1 deadline, but it's 2. If you understand what I'm saying. The first deadline is if you die. That's the deadline. But if you don't die, the deadline will be the time of judgment, right? The day of judgment when the Lord comes, right? You don't want to put off for all the long time. You say, well, you finally, when the day of judgment comes, the Lord comes, now you want to change. Now you want to throw up a quick little prayer. Now I repent, Lord. You did that every day, all the time. All the time, you never repented, never tried to fast, never tried to do things. Now you try to throw up a quick little prayer. Lord, forgive me. You never tried to change until the last minute. You don't want to do that, right? Or to your last breath, right? You on your last breath. You on your way out of here, going to the spirit world, and then you say, "Nah, I repent, Lord." No, you want to wait to the last minute or past the deadline, right? You don't want to wait, and that's the thing. We don't know when our deadline is. We don't know. We don't know if we're gonna make it to the day of judgment. We don't know. Hell, you don't know if you're gonna make it to the next day. You don't know if you're gonna make it to the next hour. So don't delay on the opportunity that you have now, because you got breath now, right? Let me get this precept. All right, quick. All right, in Ecclesiastes, where it was saying that basically ain't no work in the grave, bro. When it's all said and done, whatever you done did, that's what you done did. Right? Whatever work that you put in, that's a wrap. And whatever work that you put in while you was living and alive in this body, and I'm gonna get to a precept on that, right? That's what you're gonna get judged by, right? Of course, we know we gotta have faith too, right? But we know faith without works is dead, so you gotta have both that faith and that work, right? But it's Ecclesiastes 9 and 10. It says, whatsoever. So let me get this so y'all can see it. Right? It says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. Right? So whatever you find to do what you need to do what you need to do. And do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. So at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, when Lil Pookie, Lil Ray Ray, whatever they did when they got out of here, bang bang, whatever it is, that was it. Somebody got whatever. It's 1,000 ways to die. But the point is, whenever that time comes, that's it. It's lights out. It's no more opportunities after that, basically. That's it. Your chances or your opportunity to do better is done. It's over with. Now you got opportunities. Now you got chances. Are you going to delay on taking your shot? Or are you going to jump to it? Are you going to make haste? Right? So with that being said, again, ain't no, bro, at the end of the day, ain't no working grade, man. So if you got a chance to do something, do it. You got a chance to pull a fat, do it. And I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself. I'm Q100. I talk to myself. Hey, you got a chance to do it, do it. You got a chance to make a lesson, do it. Throw a prayer for a brother yourself, do it. Read, do it. And do it with thy might. And don't halfway do it, man. Do it with thy might. Right? And let me get this in I like going this precept right here though. Cause this precept so hard. Cause like it's like, man, when you hold on. That's not it. Bear with me. But this precept right here, I want to see it. 10 and 5. Let me bear with me. The precept that I'm going to though, I'm finding this quick precept. But this precept that I'm going to, man, it's so cold because letting you know that basically whatever work that you put in, right? No, I can't. Hold on. That's madness. That's madness. But whatever work you put in, though, on this earth, you're gonna be judged by that. Hold on. Just bear with me. Because I like this, again, I like this precept because it says in this body. So I don't want to pop up. That's just Satan right there, man. Well, we gonna get this precept though. We're gonna get this joint. Because it's just so beautiful. I was just there, man. That's crazy. All right, so I was just here. But this 2 Corinthians 5 and 10, right? It says, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Mashiach. Right? Everybody's gonna be there, and you're gonna get judged for the work that you're doing now. So you're a procrastinator, it's not gonna look good for you. Right? It's one thing when you procrastinate on worldly things, right? And you shouldn't be doing that. You gotta handle your business. You know you need a job, and you procrastinate putting in applications, you ain't even trying to sign up, you just been putting it off. Hey man, get up off your behind. Laziness, man. Right? Self-defeat, you defeating yourself. Being slothful. Right? That's all it comes down to. We know the scriptures on being slothful. But anyways, says, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Mashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad. Right? And I like it's a version of this I like. Let me see if it's an NLT. Let me see. Yeah. I like this one. Right? It says, for we must all stand before Mashiach to be judged. We will each you got, that's why it says work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You got some people in Israel, man, they be worried about the next man, what he got going on. Yeah, of course you rebuke your brother, you let him know, hey brother, you're going off, but then tend to yourself. Get yourself together. Get that beam out your eye. Get your ish together, right? Look what that nigga doing now. Look what he doing now. Boy, that man, now, boy. All right, man. You gonna go talk to the brother and rebuke him and correct him and move on. Now let's get back to tending to you. Get you together, right? And you should and before you even get to him, you got to work on you first, because you don't want to see like a hypocrite, right? But anyway, it says we will each receive whatever we deserve for the good or evil we have done in this earthly body. And of course, at the end of the day, we don't deserve the kingdom, right? But that's why we have that. We hoping for mercy. You know what I'm saying? We hoping that the Lord have mercy on us. You know what I'm saying? Because we all worthy of death, being real, right? But that's why the Lord, He's going to give it to those people that really put their best foot forward, right? That really have faith, that really repents, that really changed, that really put off that old man, that really renewed themselves through the Spirit, right? That's the spirit of the elect. The elect is not going to be on procrastination itch, man, right? You can't say I want to be the elect, but all you're doing is procrastinating. I want, man, I want to be ruled over nations. I want this. I want that. Brother, like I want these many wives as a king, whatever. How you gonna get that? And you're not putting in the work now. What rewards you think you're gonna get if you procrastinate now? You're not trying to increase. You're not trying to do nothing but be content with the level that you at. But you think you're gonna receive all these accolades. It's like somebody saying, yeah, I want to be the top NBA player. I want this, I want to be MVP, but you never get in the gym, you never study no film, you never doing nothing. You're just a lazy, you're lazy in the spirit. You're a lazy athlete. You want to be a lazy spirit, man in the spirit, a woman in the spirit, right? And it happens by procrastination. Thus, procrastinating, you defeating yourself, right? And you causing yourself to lose out on the opportunity that no man or woman without the Most High can receive. Because the Most High chose you to understand this truth, to know what this truth is. He's giving you a chance. He's giving you an opportunity. Are you gonna throw away the ticket? Or you gonna tap in, man, right? Khan, Shabbat Shalom to the brother Aaron. He said the first fruit, hey, it was a treatment for me, man. Hey, the first fruit, hey, it is a treatment, right? So, Lord willing, that was edifying through the spirit, man. So again, you know what I'm saying? Stop the procrastination. Stop the procrastination. I'm gonna read that this definition for procrastination again so we can see, but it really gonna mess you up. Hold on. That's crazy. All right, let's go right here. I want to read this one time before I leave because it's just crazy. It's even crazy. It says, procrastination is the act of delaying something that must be done often because it's unpleasant, boring. This is the point right here. What I like right here. It says, it is a self-defeating behavior pattern. Man, don't get in the act of self-defeating, taking your own self out, right? Because you procrastinate. Don't defeat yourself because you procrastinate. Doing things, putting off things that must be done. Lord willing, that was edified through spirit. I want to give our honor and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Shalom, shalom, Kwame Shalom.